If the evening news is in fact history's first rough draft, then the history we're writing today, with very few exceptions, is troubling. I doubt that there's anyone in this room who has not observed at some point during recent events that something is wrong. The division in America, according to some experts, is at Civil War levels. The very fact that we can see something is wrong is good. We should be concerned about the state of political discourse, government dysfunction, riots, the criminal justice system, racism, accelerating hate crimes, and the list goes on. The question is, what do we do?
Students need practice in self-government. Citizenship is hard work. It's all too easy for conversations to shut down, to feel unprepared or unready to grapple with a difficult question, or to lose sight of key principles in the fog of current events. But there is a common heritage of principles and ideals that formed our nation.
But the ability to continually learn and grow is essential to our freedom, our well-being, and our humanity. What happens when we forget or fail to teach children the parts of the past that have helped make us who we are today? When we don't know where we came from, we can't properly understand where we are and are ill-equipped to know where we're going.
The Americans who are most engaged in politics nowadays are actually least informed about the views of their opponents. So the more politically engaged you are, the less accurate you are when you describe how people on the other side of the aisle actually feel about a given issue. And the research is real clear that whether it's social media or the folks who are showing up on CNN or MSNBC or Fox are not like normal human beings. The people who engage on Twitter, the people who you see on MSNBC and Fox, are the people who are at the very edge of their respective camps.
In 1926, the Declaration of Independence in our country turned 150 years old. Calvin Coolidge, offering an oration, said, "Those principles in the Declaration were final. If all men are created equal, then that principle," Coolidge said, "is final." That doesn't mean, however, and I think this is what's really important for us to understand today, that does not mean that those principles have come to full fruition.
We shouldn't be afraid of shooting for those idealistic high values in beginning to educate our young people, both in the public schools, and I'd like to see more of that even in higher education.
When are we going to get serious debates? I think if we look to a good outcome out of civics, it will be that the process of disagreement in this country becomes more elevated. Not that we agree. The question is, can we have a more elevated way of getting to those conclusions and to securing those truths that are going to bring the true blessings of liberty?
Children are very young. We have an opportunity to teach them how to be good citizens in a lot of ways. Our job, I think, in education is to give them the skills and the opportunities at an appropriate level.
And when they're looking at teaching civics, that's an area where we really have to be careful. We really have to allow them to go out and gain those tools. We have to back them up on going out and gaining those tools.
And to try to help provide that space that even though others have differing opinions or different values, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're wrong. It just means that you need to work together to find some common ground.
We believe it's time for a local grassroots approach that can work in Utah and beyond. One that involves an honest study of our nation, including a recognition of the aspirations that exist within our form of self-governance.
And when students learn how their predecessors developed and continue to develop those ideas, they can practice working issues on their own, gaining confidence in themselves and in their country.
Any policymaker who wishes to be effective must understand the past in order to adequately interpret the present and chart the best course toward the future.
If we want students to be able to participate fully in our democracy, they must learn to fight for their values in a principled way.
The future we want for our children is not going to come from the divided halls of Congress. It can't be solved through agenda-driven funding. Solutions must begin at the community level. It must include parents and educators, and then rise to statewide commitments that deliver the restoration of a robust study of history, civics, and citizenship.